Lately, I've come to the opinion with comics that if people just enjoyed what they enjoy, if they just, felt comfortable, if they liked something, if everyone else in the world hated it, they just liked it themselves, they'd be happier. But comic fans, and it's not just related to comics, but a lot of comic fans, there's this insecurity where even when they like something, they really need other people to like it too, to feel confident about it. Why is that? And how does that relate to kind of Marvel, what they're doing, restraint, events, all these kinds of things? I think it all connects together. Hey everybody, this is Perch. This is one of those videos that I wish would get a ton of views and shares because I think I'm going to make a good point. We'll see if in the end it gets there or not. But I'm very grateful. By the way, I do news, reports. I try and as unemotionally as possible, but not being totally boring. Break down kind of the news and give you the what's going on. Those tend to get the big hits, and that makes sense. As I've done videos of many times, the comic news in general is so abysmal and often so very very jaded, very manipulative. Is a lot of the news, so I get why people want to hear it. I understand. It also says kind of a key fact that I'm going to talk about in this video is people love comics. People want them. Even we've made too big a deal. I think when I say we, I mean the creators and kind of one side has made way too big a deal about toxic fandom and people who are angry because at the end of the day, there is a deep love and care for comics that is really everywhere. A lot of the people yelling and screaming, yeah, there's some people who are just trying to cause trouble, but the majority love comics. They're complaining because they are very involved. They're very connected into it, and that's why they're complaining. Some of them are not doing. They're complaining in the right way, and by that I mean they're attacking people and they're making people feel bad and they're messing with they're trolling. And I think all of us, we should help steer people onto the right path if they've gone too far. But the core, the love for comics, is a good thing, and it's good that it's there. I'm very good that it's there. I wish more people would recognize that. But it strikes me that this stems. It's really gotten into my head. I've been thinking about this and thinking about this. I've been doing these comparisons. I did a video on it. I've done some tweets about it and about how these comics, and I've talked about this a few times because I think it's fundamental. I feel like I've unearthed an answer to something. I show the Extinction Agenda. I've shown Fall of the Mutants, and then recently I showed House of X, Powers of 10 in comparison to the event that's about to start, Ten of Swords. Now, I want to say for the record, I am an X-Men fan, a big X-Men fan. I own every issue of Uncanny X-Men, all of them. Yes, including the expensive ones. I do not think I would have opened a comic shop had it not been for the X-Men. That was a title that caught me. I loved a lot of comics. I read tons of things. I read Batman. I read Fantastic Four. I read some great Green Arrow. I remember being really thrilled with Fantastic Four and other things back in the day. At the libraries used to have these hardbound comics that would be like the first 10 issues or so of Iron Man and Spider-Man and Fantastic Four. There rarely was DC, but there was a ton of Marvel in there. They were wonderful. The old Stanley, Jack Kirby, amazing stuff. But it was Chris Claremont coming around with Cockrum and with Byrne and with Romita Jr. and Paul Smith Silvestri came later. But these artists, I mean, they blew me away. Some stuff that Simonson would do over in X Factor and just Alan Davis when he would do an occasional annual. I mean, these were the things that just bonded me forever to comics and made me want to sell them, made me want to be a part of that community. I loved them. So I'm an X-Men fan. Everything I've said is with deep love to the X-Men, and I'm still collecting it. So full disclosure, yeah, I'm going to be shelling out the cash for every issue of Dawn of X. Absolutely, I am. But at the same time, I hear constantly, and I'm actually one of the voices, I agree that comics needs to diversify. They need to get new audiences. They need to bring new people into it. They can't rely on a fading collector's market. I agree. They can't. They need to go find these new audiences, but it's not succeeding. So whether the argument often that goes on with this, I think, is a pointless one of should they or shouldn't they? They should. They must. It's not should they must. The better topic, the better argument is, why aren't they succeeding? Because they are not. Comics are not finding the new audience. And with one caveat, so big asterisk here before you jump in. Marvel and DC aren't finding these audiences. Other people are. Raina Telgemeier is. A lot of Scholastic books. Some of the indies have sold way better than expected. Saga is selling better than you would expect it to. It's found a new market. Marvel and DC are struggling to find that new market. And it's not that toxic fans or the collectors are rebelling and like keeping people away from comic shops. It's not, they can't gatekeep new readers from finding these comics. They can complain about them and certainly may and do, but they're not. Marvel and DC are failing at this strategy. They've got to come up with a better one. That's just it's a hard fact. Anyone, if you to disagree with this, I mean, I'd love for somebody to come in. By the way, to try and disagree, but the numbers tell a very static story. They're not breaking open these new markets. Should they try? Absolutely. But here's the problem: when you come out and you say, "I want to break into these new markets. We need to get new audiences. We need to break free the collector's market and make it, so people can jump in and casual readers can all the rest." And then you throw out a 26 part event in Dawn of X, and it's not like you can just buy some of the events. They're chapter based. You have to buy them all. If you want the story to make sense, you're gonna need to buy them all. And meanwhile, you've also got Empire, you've also got Outlawed, you've also got Sins Rising, you've also got Last Rites, you've also got King in Black, you've also got Enter the Phoenix. That's you are marketing to collectors. That is what you're doing. Now you can say we're trying to break open new markets. You can say we want these new readers. You can say, comics is changing. We need to change with them. Then change. You're sending a mixed message here. You're saying you want all these things, and in doing so, in many cases, you're pissing off that collector base because you're not just saying, "Hey, we're really proud of the audience we have. We love them. We love our readership. All different types, all different opinions. We're glad they're here, and we're just looking for new audiences here. But we're really glad of the people who are with us today." That's not what people are saying. They're talking much more often about kind of disparaging the direct market and comic shops and these classic fans. And maybe they don't even realize they're doing it, but they are. And so, what are people supposed to think? And it goes back to, so again, as I put down, some people had a negative reaction. And my comment there is just, if you're buying all these issues, be happy. You are getting what you want. My opinion doesn't matter a pill of beans. That's an old term. Jesus, I need to stop dating myself. I need to start using new terms. But the thing is, I hear other people say it. I've been listening to some other videos, and this guy's like, "Hey there, some people say I'm an old guy, but I'm not. I'm off the chain." It's like, no. I'm savvy enough to know that term sucks. You are not succeeding. But sorry, but well, I'll put it this way: sometimes it's uncomfortable to love the things we love. I grew up, I liked Guns N' Roses. That was good for me because Guns N' Roses was popular back in the late '80s. Guns N' Roses was top selling band, no problems. Liked some Metallica, sure, no problem. I also liked the Smiths and Morrissey and The Cure and Depeche Mode and They Might Be Giants and a lot of PJ Harvey. I liked a lot of these bands. I really started to like Nirvana back before they were the thing. It was not easy to be a Guns N' Roses fan and a Morrissey fan. Those two things don't go together. I mean, well, they go together kind of like peanut butter and motor oil. It's not a good sandwich. People don't like it. And so, every now and then, I'd hang out with my friends and they're like, "What's this shit here in your car?" You got the tape deck. Or then, I got the CD changer and everybody's like, "Ooh, you got a CD changer in your car. You can like have 5, 6 CDs at one time." And it's like, I had to be careful because if I hit the wrong button, up comes Morrissey and not Guns N' Roses. And, some people drive me like, the hell, man, what is this? No. But I liked that music. I liked it. I don't care. At the end of the day, I didn't care If ever nobody, I didn't need them to like what I liked. That did not add to my enjoyment. I just liked what I liked. I got smart enough not to, play Morrissey for a bunch of metalheads, but all the same, it worked out. It worked out for me. I guess Morrissey is a bigot now. I don't know. I saw something come across Twitter. He's trending, and I was seeing all these Morrissey is over party, and then a bunch of K-pop gifs, and I'm like, okay, uh, it comes for all of us one day. Um, I think that in comics, there's a couple things. Number one, if you like something, you don't need to spend so much time crapping on people who don't like it. Let them not like it. It's their dollar. It's their deal. They can not like it. Kind of the other way too, by the way. I mean, if you don't like something and somebody else likes something, be happy for them. Crap, this person's found their joy. Well, great. You know, more more happy people is a good thing. On the other hand, if you free yourself up that you just can like what you like, not like what you don't like, and be comfortable with that, I think it frees you to being able to look more critically or more honestly at problems. Problems like, hey, if we want to broaden this audience, we better start appealing to that audience. Hey, if we want to get out of just the collector's market, then we should probably, not promote comics that are just for collectors. That's really only going to appeal to that market. And hey, a 9-part event back in '89, it was a lot less than a 26-part event today. I mean, in hell, Fall of the Mutants was 9 comics. They were not intertwined. You really only had you had to read one of those tracks. Of course, everybody, they're so popular at the time, everybody's reading all 9, but you could read New Mutants, you could read X Factor, you could read Uncanny X-Men. They didn't cross over really. You didn't have to read the others. And that worked. You could get away with 3. It's excessive. That's the problem with all this. It's just excessive. And if you're happy with that excess, be happy. Cool. Life's good for you. But don't pretend it's not excessive. Don't pretend that for people coming into this hobby, for people who are trying out, old Dawn of X, that's going to be a turnoff to some buyers. It is going to be a turnoff to some buyers. Sorry, I mean, I hate to burst the bubble there, but that's gonna hurt. Comic shops that are struggling to kind of figure out how to sell things. That's a 26-part event is coming out of the pandemic is not that's not the best news for anyone. Doesn't mean you still won't enjoy the comic. I am sure you will, and I hope you do. At any rate, what do you think? Excessive, love what you love. These are, I think, the key things to a happier life. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Hey, and like, subscribe. Thank you to everybody who subscribed, joined the channel. I really appreciate you being here. Leave a comment below if you don't mind. And follow me on social media, Twitter, Facebook. I'll put some screen up here with the links to those locations, so it's a little bit easier. Most importantly, though, more important than anything else, thanks for listening.